The day when my eye twitch saved my life. This story dates back to 2019, yet it remains vivid in my memory as if it were yesterday, possibly due to the trauma. I found myself alone and bored at home, so I decided to FaceTime my best friend, who lives in the apartment building next to mine, and invited him to join me for a walk around the neighborhood. However, he was still on his way back from school, which was understandable as it was a Thursday afternoon. About 500 meters away from my house, there's a jogging circuit. Fueled by my overwhelming boredom, I changed into my sports clothes, just a basic t-shirt and shorts, and set out with my music, enjoying the vibe of the circuit. Upon arrival, I was surprised to find it wasn't as deserted as I expected, with around 8 to 10 people scattered along the 15-kilometer circuit. I started with a leisurely walk, then transitioned into a run for a couple of kilometers before finally settling down on the grass. While I was engrossed in my FaceTime call with my two best friends, I noticed two guys on a motorcycle repeatedly passing by, but I didn't pay them much mind. As it started to get late, around 6 p.m., and feeling exhausted, I decided to head home, taking a shortcut through an empty, wide street lined with buildings under construction. Despite having taken this path several times before without incident, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched and followed. Glancing back, I noticed the same two guys on the motorcycle approaching me. I whispered to my friends on FaceTime about my unease, urging them to mute their microphones and stay focused with me. As the guys approached, one of them asked me for directions to the nearest barber shop. Nervously, I provided a random location. Meanwhile, I noticed the other guy attempting to locate my phone, which I had tucked between my shorts and my belly due to the lack of pockets and my earphones being in. Feeling increasingly panicked, time seemed to slow down, and I could no longer feel my legs. They continued past me, but at a slower pace, as if planning their next move. Faced with three options, approach a taxi driver who was fixing his car nearby and explain the situation, but my gut instinct warned against it, fearing they might notice and return. Flag down a random car and seek help, but again, my intuition cautioned against it, fearing the car might be locked, and the guys might confront me after the car drove off. Opting for the third choice, I ran in the opposite direction, into oncoming traffic, retracing my steps. Instinctively, I ran for a solid 5 minutes, eventually entering a field and continuing to run towards some nearby slums. Glancing back, I saw the guys chasing after me into the field, one of them shouting, "Just stop. We just want to know where the barber shop is." I've always trusted my gut, and it screamed at me to keep running or face dire consequences. So, I sprinted between the slums until I reached near my best friend's house, where I urged him to come downstairs immediately. Collapsing in the parking lot, my friend was alarmed by my condition, although he was unaware of the specifics of what had occurred. Feeling nauseous and disoriented, I couldn't feel my legs or arms. My friend assisted me back to my house, where I laid down and eventually lost consciousness. The next thing I remember is waking up the following day with bruises on my legs from running through the field filled with spikes. The entire ordeal unfolded within the span of 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I traverse the same path without any apprehension.